installation of Ansible. So today also we will going to discuss about that thing itself, and we will implement a simple playbook. Okay, let me revise whatever discussed until now. Right, we are assuming that we have already have an operating system and our goal was to deploy an application. So this is nothing but a configuration management. In the configuration management, as we discussed, we have two types. One is push based, another one was pull based. So here, if master communicate with the node, it comes under push based. If node communicate with the master, then it is a pull based. Right? Push based configuration management, nothing but configuration management will initiate connection. Nothing but master will communicate with the server. For that, it requires an IP address and name of the server. So it will log in into the server and execute configuration, and for that it need an credentials in order to log into the node. So in this model, configuration management will maintain the IP addresses and credential of the node. So Ansible is a push based configuration management. So another one was pull based. Here node will communicate with the master. So on every node there is some agent will be installed, so that in order to get the communication faster. Chef and Puppet are the pull based configuration management tool. So this is the diagram. Push based, nothing but master will use credential to log in into the node and it will do the actions. In the pull based, there is a agent will be installed and node will communicate with the master. But Ansible is a push based methodology. Chef and Puppet will be pull based methodology. But majority of the companies are using Ansible. That's the reason we are learning push based configuration management tool, which is Ansible. So yesterday I should told you, right, if you want to do, if you have given task to fresher, he will ask everything how to do. If it is experience, you know how to do. So he just leader will just tell what is required, so he will automatically do. In the same way, in the scripting part also, while doing automation, you will be having two types. One is procedural, another one was declarative. Procedural, nothing but you need to tell everything. In declarative, you no need to tell, you just need to, hey, I want this, that's it. In the background it will take over. So Ansible is a declarative approach, right? In the shell script you need to define, right, everything. For loop, if loop, you need to define. If it is software is not present, install. If the software is present, don't install. Like that you need to write script. But in Ansible you don't need to do that. Just you need to just give present, state present, that's it. Ansible will go and install in the background using Python. So this is the workflow. As a DevOps engineer, we will communicate with the nodes using configuration management server. We have two types, push based and pull based. Push is Ansible, pull is Chef. So this is the workflow. Ansible will communicate with the nodes and it will do the work. So Ansible master supports only Linux operating system. Node supports Linux operating system as well as Windows. So in the master, Windows operating system is not supported. And Ansible was acquired by Red Hat. Red Hat purchased this Ansible. So Ansible, normally it was open source, but in Ansible there is a enterprise edition is also present, which managed by Red Hat. Now Red Hat has purchased this Ansible, but free version is also available. So Ansible expects Python to be installed on every nodes because Ansible was built in Python. So what purpose Ansible will use it for configuration management, for network automations, for administrative related tasks. So how Ansible will work? As a DevOps engineer, we will write a playbook and we will just execute this automatically on every server. Whatever required software will be installed. So that part we are going to discuss. So Ansible should be installed on control node, which comes in inbuilt Python. I told you, right? You no need to install Python. Whenever you install Ansible, automatically Python will be installed. On the node, you need to install Python. But yesterday we have seen, right, in the Ubuntu by default Python was installed. So when we execute Ansible playbook, Ansible control node, what it will do, it will go and log in into the node and execute the playbook. So to log into the node, Ansible needs our credentials. So how Ansible will log in into the node? Using, if it is Linux, SSH, if it is Windows, WinRM. Just a moment. Yeah, hi Krishna. Right? If it is Linux, it's use SSH. If it is Windows VM, it's use WinRM. But majority we will use Linux itself. So how Ansible will work? Ansible control server, you will install Ansible. On the nodes, you will install Python. So that part I will show you practically today. So lab setup, we need to have a Linux VM, right? So this, if you see, this is the Ansible architecture. So we will take Ansible control node and nodes. On every node you will be install Python. On Ansible control server you will be having Ansible and playbook. So Ansible and Python, and you will have a playbook to install the softwares in the necessary nodes. And in the same way you will be having inventory file. Nothing but I told you, right? Ansible needs an IP address of the servers. So that IP address where we will store? We will store in the inventory file. So nothing but it's a simple text file. So you don't need to worry, you will learn. If you are not talking, please mute yourself. We are getting background noise. So what are the components? So Ansible control node, right? This is where Ansible will be installed. Nothing but master. Another one was nodes. This is where we want to perform deployments, right? Inventory, list of nodes and their information. I told you, right? List of nodes information, nothing but IP address of that servers. Playbook. In the playbook, you will be having what has to be done on that node. So this is the workflow. We develop playbook as a DevOps engineer, and we will specify the address in the inventory, right? IP address of the server, and we will execute the playbook on Ansible control nodes, though, so automatically it will install the necessary softwares. So now Ansible will tries to establish a connection with the node, and it will execute the playbook. So how it will log in into the node? So Linux uses SSH for connecting to other servers. So there are two types of credentials. One is username and password. Another one was username and key pair. So if you see, this is the server 1. This is the server 2. Right? From server 1, it need to log in into the server 2. Nothing but from control master, you need to log into node. How it will log in? Using SSH. Using SSH, it will log in from one server to another server. So in order to log in, there is two methods. One is you can use username and password of the server. Another one was username and key pair. If you see, this is the user, DevOps user, DevOps user. So you can create a user. You need to create a new user called as DevOps. So this DevOps user will log in into this another DevOps user. So in order to log in, I told you, right? We can use key pair or we can use password. So in order to get a key, what we need to do? We can create our own key. So we will create a user called as DevOps on server 1 and server 2. I told you, right? First what we will do, we will create a user called as, you can give any name. Right now for practice purpose we are using a name called as DevOps. In every company by default user will be created. You no need to do anything. Okay, if in real time users will automatically created, but as we are learning we need to create a user. So in real time also you will get tasks to create a user in Linux operating system. So if you don't know how to create a user, just treat this as a task. Anyway, I will going to show you how to create a user in Linux operating system. If you don't know, take it as a task and try to Google it or whatever process you will follow. Just try to practice how to create a user in Linux. Then you can add that in your resume. So I have created a users for a developers depending upon the requirement in the Linux operating system, right? And we need to enable the password based authentication. So by default, password based authentication disabled in AWS cloud. Why? I will show you practical, then you will understand. Then after I will first I will check from server 1 to server 2. I will try to log in whether login was successful or not. So in order to enable password based authentication, what are the steps you need to follow? So first you need to go inside this file and you need to change the password authentication. Will be by default it will be disabled, you need to enable. For that you need to give just S. Then after you need to restart the SSH service. I will show all this practically, then you will understand. Right now just watch what are the steps we are doing. I will showing just theoretically, then after we will implement all these things. So I told you, right, we need to create a user called as Devops. How you will create a user? What is the command to create a user? Sudo add user username. Then automatically a user will be created in the Linux operating system. Now repeat the above steps on server 2. On the another server also try to create a user. Same command. So now what we need to do, from server 1 I need to connect to server 2. I told you, right, we need to enable the password based authentication between VMs. You can create your own key. For that you need to execute SSH keygen. Right, we have two servers with user Devops. So from server 1 create a key pair, right, in order to create a key pair you need to execute SSH keygen. Just give enter enter enter, then you will get a key. Using this key you can log in into another server. So now copy the public key into server 2. In order to copy the public key from one server to another server, you need to execute SSH copy ID, username and the IP address of the server 2. I will explain all these things practically, then you will understand it. Now it will be little bit confusing to you what is the steps and all. Once I log in into the server, if I show you the step by step process, then you will understand. Still if you are not understanding, try to watch the recording once again, then you will slowly understand. Anyway, I will explain, right? So after the SSH copy is successful, we can log in directly using IP address, right? Then you need to execute SSH IP address of the server. You will directly log in into the node dot from server 1 to server 2. So now once the user is ready, we can call the Ansible like we can call it as Ansible control node for server 1 and server 2 as a node 1. And we need, I told you, that Python 3 will be installed on both the nodes because Ansible was built in Python. Ansible background works with Python. So that's the reason if you want to install any softwares, what Ansible do, Ansible will execute playbook, okay, but in the background Python script will like run, not Ansible. So that's the reason Python 3 is mandatory. So for installing Ansible also we will be having two approaches. You can use using Python, you can install, or using apt manager or M, you can install this Ansible. Yesterday I have shown you, right? These are the steps from official documentation. Just observe this diagram. I have created a Devops user, right? I have created a Devops user on both the servers. Okay. Then after what I did, so then after I have established a communication between control node and node. How I have established a connection? I have created my own key, right? Using SSH keygen. Okay, I have created two keys. Whenever you execute sh keygen, you will get public key and private key. So private key will be with you. So how this node will know I need to someone is coming to me? That's the reason we will be kept one key in on this node. That is public key of server one. Then node one will get to know. Okay, Ansible control node is coming to me. Then it get to know. Even if you say in Zomato, how delivery agent will know I need to deliver this? We need to give that hint, right? And like we need to provide the address, right? Then this delivery agent will get to know, okay, someone is coming to me and all. In the same way, what we need to do, we need to create first keys. One is public key and another one private key. Linux operating system will not work with single key. So if you use single key, anyone can able to hack. If there are two keys, no one can able to hack because private key is with you, right? One is public key you have kept. Without this private key, you cannot able to open this lock. So without this private key, you cannot able to log in into the server. So that's the reason Linux operating system was very protective and no one can able to hack. That's the reason, because they are maintaining two keys. It will be little bit confusing to you. Same for our house, we are maintaining a keys, right? In the same way, in order to log in into this server, we are also maintaining the key. But here we are maintaining two keys. One is public, another one was private. Private will not share with anyone. Public will be shared. So, but if you want to log into the node, you need to compulsorily have a private key. So this is the mechanism created by Linux founder. So you cannot ask why we need to use public and private both at a time. So if you have a lock and a key, so only that key only works for a lock, right? For a door. So in the same way, private key nothing but your key, like same like bike. If you have a bike, you will be having a private key, right? Only with key that bike keys will be open. In the same way, here also you will maintain one public key. You, by matching this private key only, you can able to log into the node. So like that, you will enable the SH communication between the both servers. So test Ansible connectivity from Ansible control node to, so you can test the connectivity between the Ansible control server and the node. For that, what you need to do, you need to create a file called as hosts. Nothing but it's a inventory file. Host, you can give the name host, and if you execute Ansible -m ping -i host all, then it will go and just ping that server. Then it will check what is this ping and all. I will discuss briefly. Just ignore for that for now. Whenever we created the user and all, right, I will explain you what is this things. So then also you need to do one more thing, that is sudo vi sudo. You need to edit this file and you need to give the permissions to Devops user. Whenever you create a new user, how Linux operating system will know a new user was created? So that's the reason what you will do. You will go inside this sudoers file. You will tell to Linux operating system, I have added a Devops user. Give all permission to this user. Then Linux operating system get to know, okay, there is a user was created. I need to give a permission to him. Right? Ansible installation practically on cloud. So that's what we are going to do. So task will be, you need to know AML tutorial. So just watch AML tutorial. Right now I will show you practically. I will take two servers. After taking two servers, what I will do, I will create a two users. with name called as DevOps. Yes, just see the diagram, you will understand. As a human being, we will not remember. That's the reason if you use diagram, you will get to know the step by step. So T2 micro is more than enough. Select a key pair, security group. So I want two nodes, launch instance. So this is what we are going to do, right? I will take two servers. Okay, I'm taken two servers. Just observe, it's very important. One was Ansible control server. Another one was node 1. Okay, I will log in into the Ansible control server. Okay, just see this diagram. Let me do one thing. Copy this. Okay, one is Ansible control node, another one was node 1. Then what I need to do, I need to create a DevOps user. What is the command to create a user? Sudo add user DevOps. So it will ask a password. I will give the same password, DevOps. Again retype password, DevOps. So it will ask for full name and all. Just ignore. Just give enter, 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 enter. Yes. So in olden days, like Linux operating system was only used by universities. That's the reason there is a room number, work from home name. That's the reason they by default they have given this. Okay, my user was created. I told you, right, I will create a user on both the servers. Yes, I will exit. I will log in into another server. I will create a user there as well. Where? On the node 1. I will log in into this fastly. Connect, copy. Now you know, right? If someone comes, a developer comes to you and tells you to create a user in Linux operating system, you can easily create, right? DevOps. So password, you can give any password. I will give. If I forget, that's the reason I'm giving the same username as password. DevOps. Just give enter, 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 enter. Why? Now let's see the diagram. DevOps and DevOps, both user was created, yes or no? Now I want to make communication between from one server to another server. So in order to do the communication, I need to have a key. I
Keygen.
don't have a key, right? So what I need to do, I need to create a key. Where I need to create a key? In the master server, not on the node, because Ansible control node, who is controlling? Master is controlling. So here I need to create a key so that I can able to log in into the node. So same, now we have only one node, node 1. If it is there node 100, same process will be same. You will control with Ansible control node. First, it's a one-time job. SSH connection was set up was one-time job. Once it is set up, you can use 1,000 times. Okay, I will log in into the Ansible control server. SSH keygen. Just give enter, enter, enter. That's it. SSH key was created. Okay, now I am as a Ubuntu user. So I want to log in as a which user? DevOps user, because I will need to create a key on DevOps user, not on the Ubuntu user. Okay, remember I am as a Ubuntu user. Now I will log in su-l username DevOps. So what is the password? Same password which I have given, DevOps. So if you see, I am inside the DevOps user. Just remember, it's very important. Here I will create a SSH keygen. So because if you see the diagram, I am created DevOps. From DevOps user to another DevOps user, I want to communicate. So obviously I need to create under DevOps user, right? Key should be created. I just forget to and created in Ubuntu user. Yeah, as a human we will do mistakes. Nothing will happen. Okay, my key was created or not. I need to copy this. Just let me show you. ls.ssh slash. Sorry, I told you right. Whenever you create sh keygen, it will create two keys. One is public key, another one was private key. So in order to log in using key, what we will do, we will copy the public key to the DevOps user of another server. Right? Public key will be copied to this node so that whenever I log in, this node one get to know, okay, someone was trying to log in into me. So it will check whether the public key was server one was available or not. If it is available, okay, he will allow. If it is public key is not available, definitely he will not allow. Same like security guard. If the security guard has information about you, he will allow you inside the apartment. If he doesn't have the information about you, he will throw it away. Okay. Now next job, what I need to do, I need to copy. In order to do that, what? SSH copy. I forget. SSH copy ID, right? So SSH keygen. Then after SSH copy ID, username, and the IP address of the server 2. What is the username? DevOps at the right. What is the IP address of the node. This is the public IP address. So yes, so it is telling permission denied. Attempting to log in with the new key to filter out any key that are already installed. So it is telling permission denied. So what I need to do, I told you right, by default in AWS password authentication was disabled. So you need to enable that. Because if you see, whenever we log in into the AWS account, how we are logging in? Using a key, right? Using a PEM file, we are logging into the every server. So that's the reason what AWS has done. By default, AWS has done disable the password authentication. For that, what you need to do, sudo vi etc ssh sshd_config. Go inside this file, come down, there will be password authentication. Yes, can you able to see? Here there is no. Try to change to yes. Nothing but try to give a permission to log in from one server to another server using a password. That's the meaning of this. Okay. Let me do the same thing on the node as well. I will log into the node. I will do the same thing in the node as well. I told you right, by default password authentication was disable. So sorry, there is a typo. Only on AWS it was like this. If you are using Azure cloud, you no need to do that. In the Azure cloud it's enable, but in AWS cloud it is using key based authentication. That's the reason it has disabled the password authentication. Insert. Yes, so I said right, by changing this simple value it is not applied. You need to restart this service, then only it will be changes. Sudo service sshd restart. Okay, now I will exit, login into master. Here I forget, I will first check whether value was changed or not. Sudo vi etc. Don't worry, I will provide all the steps in the class notes. So password authentication is okay. Let me restart this service. Sudo service sshd restart. Okay, I want to log in into Devops user. Password is Devops. I will try to copy the ID now. Devops @ IP address of the node. If it is again fail, we are going to learn. So now it is asking password, right? Number of keys added 1. Now it's working or not? Before it was permission denied, I got, because for this server password authentication was disabled. What I did, I just enabled. How I have enabled? I just gone to the ssh file etc ssh ssd underscore config. There I just changed password authentication to yes, and I restarted that service. And you can directly log in into this server using an IP address as such public IP. So as such, just give the public IP. You will directly log in into the node. So if you see 176 is the node, I will exit. Right, 87 is the master. So I will again execute sh IP address. Now I will exit. How it is possible? Use in the background it is using the key which we have added. So you no need to provide password again and again, because I already copied a key there, sh copy id. Then you no need to, it will not ask you again password. It will just check in the background whether key was present or not. It will matches and it will automatically log in into that node. Now you got it right. Just see this diagram. I have taken two servers, Ansible control node and the node 1. I have created a user called as Devops. Now I want to get communication between two servers, right? What I did, I log in as a Devops user. I have created a key. But whenever I copy the key, it is throwing an error, permission denied, because password authentication was disabled for these servers. What I did, I just enabled the password authentication so that I can able to log in into this node. Then after I just simply sh copy id copied the public key into the node 1. So I no need to give password every time. Using this key it will log in into this node. Okay, now what I will do, I will install Ansible on this server and Python 3 on this server. So using Ansible I will check whether from this server I can able to communicate with on this server or not. So shall we do that? Now I am on the control node, right? For your verification I will check 87 37 37 87, right? I am on the master. Now I want to install Ansible. I don't know how to install Ansible. What I will do, Ansible installation on Ubuntu. I will go to the official website of Ansible, Ubuntu. Okay, sudo apt update. So it is asking password. So Devops is not a sudo file. This incident will be reported. Again I got a error. What is this? Because Linux user cannot able to find whether Devops user was present or not. What we need to do? I told you, right? So whenever you get an error, by seeing this error I get to know what is the issue. How? I've done so many times practice. Sudo vi sudo. Linux don't know whether DevOps user was created or not. What I need to do? I need to tell Linux user, hey, I have already added a DevOps user. So I need to add the information regarding DevOps. Then simply copy this. So it will little bit confusing to you. No need to worry. When if you practice more, So what is it I'm adding? So every time don't ask password. Now whenever I execute sudo apt update, right, it's asking password. So don't ask me password every time. It irritates me. That's the reason. Just if you give no password for everything, all, it will never ask you password again. Just give Control X, enter S, enter. So exit. I will do the same thing on node as well. Okay. Sudo vi sudo. So here also I need to tell to Linux, hey Linux, I have added a user called as Devops. So whenever a prompt password, give all permissions and should not ask me the password again and again. Sorry. And you need to give carefully. If you do single mistake, it will fail. Okay, now I will log in into the node. Sorry, master. Okay, I will go as a root user. Sorry, DevOps user. It is asking a password DevOps. Now I will update the packages. I will check. It will ask password or not. It should not ask because I have already given no. Right? It's asking. It is not asking, right? In the file I have already defined. Don't ask password. So if you see, I'm doing mistakes intentionally so that you will get to know. If I simply go and execute the things, it's no use for you. So if you see this diagram, I have taken two servers. I have given Ansible control node as to one server, node to another server. Then after I created a DevOps user, right? For DevOps user, password authentication was disabled. I just given password authentication as yes. Then after, still Linux cannot able to identify DevOps user was available in the operating system. Another thing I need to do, that is sudo vi sudo. Nothing but in the sudo verse file I need to edit. So there I have given the information about DevOps. There in I have created key. I copied the key so that
ఏంటి బ్రో
whenever
మీ వాయిస్ కొంచెం బ్రేక్ వస్తుంది.
okay, now
ఓకే బ్రో, ఇట్స్ క్లియర్.
ఓకే ఓకే ఎప్పటి నుంచి వస్తుంది బ్రో?
జస్ట్ ఇప్పుడే ఒక 1 మినిట్ అంతే.
ఓకే ఓకే
జస్ట్ ఇప్పుడే.
Ansible. So whenever you install Ansible, Python 3 will be automatically installed. Okay. Once the Ansible was installed, what I will do, I will log in into the node. So how Ansible will work? What is the Ansible? Ansible will execute a playbook. How it will execute playbook? It will have information about node. What information? IP address of the node. So using the IP address, what Ansible will do? Will log in into the node, right? So I will just simply just to check the communication. That's it. Let's continue tomorrow. So it's taking some time. It should not take this much of time. Right, Ansible was installed. Just I will go exit, exit. I will fastly log in into the node. So I will go as a DevOps user. It will ask password first time. Just Q. Okay. Let me check Python 3 was installed or not. Sorry. Yes, Python 3 was already installed. Then I no need to do anything. So let's execute this. It will be better. Okay. Okay. I will exit out of the server. I will log into the master. Don't worry, we are going to repeat the concepts again, and you need to practice as well, then you will easily understand. Just this diagram is enough for you to understand. I will log in into this now. Tomorrow try, not tomorrow is a holiday, right? Monday try to join. I will show you steps again. Last, after that I will not show again. So su-l DevOps. Give the password. Okay. How Ansible will work? So I will create a hosts file, vi hosts. Inside this I will give the information about the node. What is the node IP address? So today network was very slow. It's loading. Okay. I will take the public IP address. I will add this here. Okay. ls. I have a hosts file. So Ansible -m ping. Let me do one thing. right? We have done this setup. So I've created a host files, right? Ansible -m ping. You need to give -I hosts. -m nothing but module. So I will explain this concepts upcoming days. -I nothing but what is the host file? Nothing but inventory file. -I is nothing but inventory file. Inventory file nothing but information about your nodes. All. So ping nothing but it will go and just try to ping the server. Ping nothing but if you see, if I give ping -c for google.com, nothing but what it is doing, it is just checking whether internet is working or not. I can able to reach to google.com or not. This is just a simple check. Ping nothing but it will just check whether am I reachable to the internet or not. In the same way, Ansible -m ping nothing but using ping what I'm doing, I'm just checking whether I can able to reach to this. Inside the host there is a server, right? So what it will do, it will just ping this IP address, nothing but a node, whether I can able to log in into this server or not. Okay, I will try to update this recording as soon as possible by afternoon 2 p.m. Okay, just download this recording and I will update the classroom notes as well, and I will provide you the access to your GitHub user. So today's job was to don't, I will not provide notes, watch the recording and try to implement the same thing. If I give the notes today itself, you will copy paste, right? I don't want that. Watch recording and try to practice. From Monday onwards, I will give full access to the notes. You need to, this is very important. You need to simply see this diagram, see the recording, right? Ansible control node and the node one. So using this diagram, I've done the setup. Same thing you need to do on your own. Okay, and you need to check ping. Ping nothing but is type of one module. What is this module? You ignore. I will explain these concepts. This is the ad hoc command. What is Ansible ad hoc commands? They will ask in the interview. So this is the ad hoc command. What is this ad hoc? We will discuss. I am just pinging the server. In order to ping the server, I need to give the file name. So what it will do? Ansible will go and ping the server present in this host file. In the host file, I have an IP address. It will go and check just ping. So if you see ping pong success, because it is can able to ping to that server. If it is failure, there is some mistake you have done. So yeah, that's it for today. Let's meet again. So I've didn't done anything magic, right? Day one class itself, I've repeated today. Monday I will show you again this setup. Then after don't ask me again. I will terminate this. After practice terminate and I will stop the recording as well.